Hi, and welcome to today's yoga sequence. I prepared a shorter, slower float for today. It's going to be very grounding, very cooling, especially balancing the fire in our bodies. So we're going to stay closer to the floor. We're going to do a float, but a slower one with forward folds, a bit of a back bends and chest openers, but nothing too fiery. I would like you to start seated, either in a cross-legged position or sitting on your heels or between your heels, or I put actually two blocks between my heels and I'm sitting in supported heroes pose. And let's just ground first. Really push your sit bones towards the floor, top of the head, towards the ceiling. And just come to your breath. Observe whether you're breathing deeply or whether your breath is more shallow. If so, then maybe try to deepen and lengthen your inhales and exhales. Maybe count to 3 on an inhale and count to 4 or 5 on an exhale. If you want, you can use a Panavaya mudra here, which is a very grounding mudra, sort of bringing your energy from up downwards to the ground, to your mat. And it looks like this. So you're putting together your thumb, your middle finger and your ring finger, and index finger and pinky finger up. So you just place it on your thighs in front of you. And just continue with your breath, inhaling on 3 and slightly extending the exhale to 4 or 5 or even 6 if you can. Let's do 3 or 4 rounds in silence. Maybe again closing your eyes. And just focusing especially on the exhale, relaxing your body, grounding into the floor, into the earth. Put a smile on your face. Letting go all of the stress of the day, or if you're doing it in the morning, of the day before. Wherever you are, now go into the last inhale and exhale. Release your mudra if you were holding it. Maybe circle your shoulders up and down 2 or 3 times. You can change directions if you want. And I will come into a seated position. So you're just going to sit in staff pose first. And we're going to hug our right knee and just bring your right leg across, placing your right foot next to your left hip as far as it can go, straightening your spine and slowly coming forward on an exhale into forward fold. This is a half cow face pose, Gomukhasana. You can release your spine here. This is a bit more of a passive forward fold. You can place your palms up. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. Long inhales and exhales. Push your chin towards your chest for more traction in your spine. Your left leg can be slightly active, or maybe not even that. Last inhale and exhale here. Slowly push yourselves up with your palms. Inhaling, arms up next to your ears, and we're going to come into a side stretch, leaning to your left, so to the side where your foot is next to your hip. Try not to lean backwards too much or forwards too much. 5 breaths here. You can start to engage your left leg a bit more, maybe flex your left foot. Opening your right shoulder here, opening the chest. Last deep inhale and exhale. Let's come back into the middle. Release your leg and we'll go to the other side. So now you can hug your left knee, bring your left leg across. Your left foot is now next to your right hip. And we'll first start with a forward fold. You can inhale, arms up. Come forward as much as you can and then just let go into a more passive style. Having your palms down or even up if you want. Bringing chin towards your chest. Take care that your right hip is not coming up. Really push both of the sit bones and both of the hips to the ground. Your right leg can be slightly active or not even. Just let it go. We'll activate it later when we're going to the side stretch. Last big inhale and exhale. On an inhale, let's slowly push into the hands, coming up, head coming last. And we'll go into the side stretch on the other side. So inhaling, straightening our spine and just leaning over to your right. So where your foot is next to your hip. Take care that you're not coming backwards or forwards. It's a side bend, not an extension or forward fold. So try to maybe activate now your right leg. Straighten it, maybe flex your right foot. Open your left shoulder, open your chest. 5 breaths here. On the next inhale, let's come up into the middle. Release. Bring back your left leg and maybe windshield wiper your legs here. Have your feet slightly wider than hip width apart and just come with your knees towards the left and towards the right. Just releasing your hips and your low back. And now let's slowly turn around and come into all fours. You can have a blanket here if you want underneath your knees because we'll be doing a couple of low lunges. And just flow into a cat and cow. Inhaling into cow, opening your chest, tailbone up, shoulders down and back. And exhaling, rounding your spine, tailbone down between your legs, chin towards your chest. And 2 more. Inhaling into cow and exhaling into cat. Just do it at your own pace. Have your abs slightly engaged in both of them, in cat and in cow. And now let's come into neutral, all fours. Deep inhale and exhale. Tuck your toes under and lift yourself up into downward dog. Find the extension of your spine here. I'm going to step slightly forward. You can bend your knees if you want. Maybe come down with one heel, up with the other, and the other way around. Just warming up our hamstrings. Then focus on your arms. Rotate your biceps slightly down and out. Shoulders away from the ears. Crown of the head down. Chest towards your knees. Sit bones up towards the sky. And from here, we'll raise our right leg up into three-legged dog. Nothing too extreme. And on an exhale, we'll bring our right foot between our hands. We'll place our knee down to the ground. And we'll come up into low lunge. Arms up next to your ears. Deep, long inhales and exhales here. Take care that your hips are looking forward. That your tailbone is strong, sort of coming down slightly. You can sort of tilt it forward so that you don't have too much of a pressure on your lower spine here. Now let's interlace our fingers behind our back. Inhaling, opening the chest, and we'll stay here for 3 long inhales and exhales. Really pushing your interlaced fingers down your back leg. You can tuck your toes under here to protect your knee if you want. Last deep inhale. And exhale, let's bring our hands left and right over our front foot. Step back into downward dog. And let's do a flow here. Inhale into plank. Push yourself forward. Elbows are to torso. Exhale down all the way to the floor. Inhale, mini cobra. And let's hold here. Really active legs, pushing hips into the ground. 3 inhales and exhales. A great strengthening exercise for your lower back. And exhale back down. Deep inhale and exhale into downward dog. Now we'll come up with our left leg on an inhale. Exhale, bring your left foot between your hands. And we'll be coming into low lunge on the other side. Inhaling, arms up next to your ears. Check the alignment. Check that your front knee is not coming over your front ankle. That you are strong here, like releasing your hips, but still having a bit of strength in your pelvis, in your abdomen and low back. Now let's interlace our fingers behind our back the other way around. And inhaling, opening the chest. Interlaced fingers are coming down your back leg. 3 inhales and exhales here. Now let's bring our hands back, left and right of your front foot, and let's step back into downward dog. Let's do another flow here, inhaling into plank, pushing yourself forward. You can drop your knees here if you want, if you find it too difficult, and then come all the way down to the mat and then exhale, elbows to torso. Inhaling into a bit fuller cobra here. You can even place your hands wider, left and right of your shoulders. Deep inhale and exhale here. 2 more times. Last deep inhale. And on exhale, release and come back into downward dog. Now let's bring our right leg up again into three-legged dog. exhale, let's place our right foot on the outside of your right hand. We'll be coming into lizard pose. Just place your back knee onto the floor, on the blanket or mat. And let's just sway here left and right. Your right foot can be straight, or you can have your toes slightly out. You can even place your right foot on the edge, on sort of the outside edge of your foot, opening even more, whatever feels better. You can be on your hands here, on your forearms, on the fingertips, or if you can't manage that, then just put blocks here and you can support yourself with blocks underneath your palms. Sway here left and right. And now bring your right foot back into the middle between your hands and push into your right heel. We'll be coming into a half split. I'm going to take blocks here. Take care that your hips are aligned. Push your right hip back. Your right leg is really active, right foot flexed. Your left hip is above your left knee. Just straighten your spine here. And if you want on an exhale, just come towards your right leg with your torso as far as you can. Now come back halfway up with your spine. And let's just place our left hand on the mat and we'll come into a little twist here. It's not going to be the biggest twist of all because we're not focusing on twisting and increasing fire. So it should be like a cooling one for upper body, but we're extending or stretching the IT band on the right side. So push your right hip down and just come up in sort of a very relaxed way with your right hand, with your right arm. Now come back down with your right hand and let's come back onto all fours and from all fours into downward dog. On an inhale, we flow into plank. Push yourself forward, come down all the way to the mat. And now we'll be coming into bow pose. So bend your knees, grab your ankles, or you can also grab the tops of your feet. And on the next inhale, we'll come all the way up. You can have your feet pointed. You can have your feet flexed as you like. Take care that your knees are not going too wide apart here. Just push them together and really open your chest. Lengthen the spine, even if it's a back bend. Lengthen and open. 3 inhales and exhales here. Last deep inhale. Open up as much as you can. And exhale all the way down. Just place your forehead on your stacked palms. Just rest here for a bit. And then push yourselves up onto all fours again. Deep inhale and exhale into downward dog. Lift your left leg up into three-legged dog. And on the exhale, bring your left foot on the outside of your left palm. Place your right knee down, and we're now in lizard pose on the other side. Again, try to find the alignment of your left foot, the same as was the alignment of your right foot. Just sway left and right. Opening your hip. Maybe your left hip is more open than the right. So you can maybe come down on your forearms. For me, it's slightly too much. So come back up. And now bring your left foot between your hands. And push into your left heel, coming into a half split. Again, I'll be using blocks. You don't have to. You can be on your fingertips here. Check the alignment, right hip above right knee, left hip back so that the hips are aligned, left foot straight, active, flexed. Extend your spine here, and then if you want, you can come down towards your leg into the forward fold. Take care that you're not overstretching hamstrings. If you feel any pain in the back, just slightly, so micro bend your knee. Now let's remove blocks if you had them. Place your right hand onto the mat and just lift very easily, like without much of an effort, your left arm up, and at the same time pushing your left hip down towards the mat. IT bend stretch on the left side. On the next exhale, let's come back down. Maybe push slightly forward and coming back with your left leg. Deep inhale here on all fours. And exhale, let's lift ourselves up into our downward dog again. We won't stay here for too long because we're not working on strength. So let's lift our right leg up into the sky again. Deep inhale, and on an exhale, bring your right leg forward. We're coming into a pigeon pose. So you can have your right foot coming straight out from your knee, but this is very, very hard on our knees usually. So you can bring it closer to the groin. It may be easier for you. So like this. And even here, you may want to put something underneath your seat bone on the right side. And from here, however you want to do it. So with support, without support, your foot more away from you or your foot slightly more towards your groin. Just find your best position. Your knee should never ever hurt here. Straighten, sort of align your hips. They should be looking forward, both of them. And only now, straighten your spine on an inhale and then come down on an exhale into our pigeon pose. You can use the second block if you have blocks or a pillow to put it underneath your forehead. And if this is too much for you or for your knee, just stay up like this. It may feel easier. 5 long deep inhales and exhales here. Last deep inhale and exhale. And now slowly push yourself up. Let's step back onto all fours or downward dog. If you're in all fours, maybe just sort of stretch your leg out to release. Or if you're in downward dog, you can paddle your legs. Whatever you prefer. So if you are on all fours, come back up into downward dog. We'll inhale our left leg up into three-legged dog, nothing extreme again. And exhale, let's bring our left foot forward next to your right hand. And again, you can have your left foot really in line with your left knee, but your hips should actually be aligned. So if your right hip is too much up when doing that, then you just bring it maybe closer to the groin. And the same goes if your knee hurts. Here, align your hips so they're looking forward, that they're aligned horizontally as well as vertically. Sorry, only horizontally. And now if you want, you can again place a block or a pillow below your left sit bone, below your left hip. And from here, let's do one more deep inhale, straightening our spine, opening our chest, and then coming slowly forward on an exhale into our pigeon pose on the other side. And again, we can use a block here to put it at any height. You can also put it really high up, whatever fits. And relax into our pigeon pose. 5 long inhales and exhales here. If your knee hurts like this, even if you put your foot closer to the groin and your hip is supported on the left side, then you can do the same pose on your back. So you just go on your back, you bring your left ankle on your right thigh, bend your right knee, and pull your right leg towards you. Last deep inhale and exhale in our pigeon pose. If you had a block below your hip and below your forehead, just remove them. Push yourselves up, and again come into all fours. Maybe straightening your left leg now, straightening and bending to release. Or you can do paddling your feet in downward dog, as you prefer. From here, we'll just cross your ankles and we'll come into the seated position. I don't need a blanket anymore. So we come forward with our legs in front of us in a staff pose. So find your alignment here first. Really push your hands into the mat. Straighten your torso, straighten your spine. Feel your sit bones really pushing into the mat. Flex your feet just to find this really proper positioning. And now let's come into inhale, arms up next to our ears. And exhale forward in a very active way this time. So your feet are flexed. Either you hold your thighs, hold just below or above your knees, your shins, or just have your palms on the mat. Or if you're super flexible, if you have strap, you can also hold your feet. Keep your spine straight here. If you have a pillow, you can also put it underneath your seat. I don't have one out here. You can also put a block. It will lift you up a bit so that you won't curl too much in your lower spine, in your lumbar spine. Just find the extension here. Extend your neck as well, so don't look up too much. Like really try to extend your neck that's going to be in line with the rest of the spine. And only when you find the maximum that you can, the maximum extension of the spine, you can maybe start to round, chin towards your chest. Tractioning your spine slightly more. 5 long inhales and exhales here. It doesn't matter how far you come. It really is important that you find the length first. Even if you're much higher up than me, I mean, there are also a lot of other people that are much lower down than me, but you have to find your sweet spot, the perfect alignment for your own body. Head is heavy. Last deep inhale and exhale. Now slowly release your feet if you were holding them and just push into your hands. Push yourselves up, head coming last. Now we'll be coming into the seated position where we began. So I'm going to sit in hero's pose again, supported with my blocks. But feel free to sit in Sukhasana, in easy seat, cross-legged, lotus pose, whatever you want. Straighten your spine here again. Relax your shoulders. And we'll be finishing the sequence with Sitali Breath, which is a cooling breath. We're going to be inhaling through the open mouth, then closing our mouth and exhaling through the nose. Inhale will be on 3 and exhale on 4, 5, or 6, whatever is best suited for you. So a slightly longer exhale if you can. So if you can roll your tongue like this, then we are going to breathe in through this rolled tongue. If you can't do that, because not everyone can do it, just have your mouth open as you want. So it's important thing is that you're breathing in through your mouth, so we're cooling the air, and then closing your mouth, exhaling through the nose. So let's start. Closing and exhaling slightly longer. So through the mouth, tongue rolled. 3, closing your mouth, and then exhaling through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, or if you can, 5, 6. Now do like 4 or 5 rounds on your own. Feel free to close your eyes here. Wherever you are, go into a last round. Inhaling through the open mouth, tongue roll, and then exhaling, mouth closed through the nose. Releasing Sitali Breath. Slowly opening your eyes if you have them closed. Put a smile on your face. Just try to feel how this breath is in your body. Has it cooled you down? Was it too much? That means that maybe you don't have enough fire in your body. This is a great breath that you can also use now throughout the summer. Now it's springtime, but it's going to get warmer. So it's a very nice technique when it's very hot outside. Let's do last long inhale together, arms up above our head, into prayer, and exhale. Let's bring our hands down in front of our chest, thanking ourselves for coming to the mat and doing this gentle, cooling, soothing flow. Enjoy your day, and thank you very much for joining me on the mat. Bye.